What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Idiot Proof Cooking. So the plan for today was to make New York style pizza. I went and picked up a pretty awesome pizza steel in order to do so. However, I forgot to pick up a pizza peel, so now I have no way of transferring the pie on and off the pizza steel in the oven. So unfortunately, New York style pizza will wait for another week. However, I still do want to make pizza today, so I'm going to be showing you how to cook it in a sheet pan. Without any further ado, let's get into it and make this pie.
This week, the food processor is going to be doing all of the heavy lifting. I'm going to make the dough right inside of it to show you how easy it is. What you'll need is 4 cups of all-purpose flour added right into the food processor. Careful, Will. Careful, don't spill it. Oh, I got a little bit on there. From there, 2 teaspoons of kosher salt. 1 teaspoon of instant yeast, not dry active, make sure it's instant. 1 teaspoon of sugar to feed the yeast. 1 2/3 cup of warm water. I had mine heated up to 110 degrees. Make sure it's not too hot, otherwise it'll kill the yeast. And finally, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Once all the ingredients are in, firmly affix your processor lid and start mixing. Now on my processor, there's an actual dough button, which makes it easy for me. However, if yours doesn't have one of those, just run it on a high speed for a couple of minutes until everything is nice and combined. Once you see it clump up like that, run it for about another 30 seconds or so. Once the dough is done mixing, grab a nice large bowl and coat with olive oil so the dough won't stick to the sides. Then extricate the dough from the food processor. As you can see here, I took the blade with me. You're going to want to obviously take that out of the dough. Now I found with this recipe the dough comes out perfect every time. I made it 3 separate times and each time it didn't need to be kneaded. If it does come out a little wet, just knead in some flour first. But from there, form it into a nice taut ball and drop into the bowl. Swirl around the dough in olive oil just to make sure that it is coated, and then cover in plastic wrap and store in a warm, dry place for about 1 to 2 hours or until doubled in size. While the dough is rising, let's talk about the pizza sauce. Like I said today, the food processor is doing all the heavy lifting. So into the processor, add in 2 or 3 cloves of minced garlic. Then in a 28-ounce can of San Marzano tomatoes. Really, the only tomatoes they use are San Marzanos. Next in is a whole 6-ounce can of tomato paste. Come on, get it out, there it comes. Half a tablespoon of sugar to cut down on the acidity of the tomatoes. A couple of pinches of kosher salt. A few shakes of crushed red peppers to bring a little heat to the sauce. A few pinches of oregano. And a few pinches of basil. Now, as you can see here, whenever I'm making pizza, it seems like my 2-year-old is very interested in what I'm doing. From there, affix your lid again and blend it all up. Having the food processor really makes it easy to make pizza. Once everything's mixed, throw it in a saucepan and allow it to simmer for about 30 minutes. Oh, damn it, Will, you put the blade in with the sauce. Get that out of there. Thank you. Anyways, as I was saying, allow it to simmer for about 30 minutes on the stove. Alright, back to the dough. After allowing it to rise for about 2 hours, you'll see that it's doubled in size. Yeah, look at that. It looks great. Anyways, give it a little punch to show it who's the boss. Because we're making sheet pan pizza, a critical step in this process is to get yourself a sheet pan. Seems kind of self-explanatory. Grab yourself some olive oil and generously coat the pan in it to make sure that the dough doesn't stick when in the oven. From there, get your dough and drop it onto the sheet pan. What you'll want to do is start gently coaxing the dough towards the edges of the pan. Now you are going to notice that it's going to fight you. It's not going to want to spread out, and that's because the glutens need time to relax. What you'll need to do is cover with plastic wrap and let it rest for about anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes, giving the glutens time to relax. Once that's done, it'll be way easier to spread it out to the edges of the pan. Let's talk about toppings while the glutens are relaxing. So I'm just making a simple pepperoni pizza here. And look at that. Like I said, the food processor is fantastic. Just dices through the pepperoni with ease. Up next is the cheese. You'll want a nice low moisture mozzarella. As a side note, there is some companies that sell pizza mozzarella, but I find that it has higher moisture than other mozzarellas, so I'm not just sure if that's like clever marketing on their part, but there's better mozzarellas out there than the stuff that they advertise as pizza mozzarella. Anyways, the food processor makes short work of that. Now back to the dough. As I said, let it rest for about 15 to 30 minutes, and as you can see here, it became way more cooperative and was easy to spread out to the corners of the pan. Once the dough is spread out, go grab your sauce and start applying it to the dough. Now what you'll want to do, or what I'm doing anyways, is spreading it. Oh, there's the mooch again, looking for some pizza. Anyways, so like I was saying, I'm spreading it out to the four corners of the pizza, however, leaving a rim along the edges to leave a crust. From there, liberally top with your shredded mozzarella. Finally, grab your pepperonis and start covering them on the pizza. Now, I don't know if you're like me, but I like pizza that is literally festooned in pepperonis, corner to corner. So that's what I'm going to be doing here. From there, preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit and bake this pizza for about 15 to 17 minutes, rotating it about halfway through the time. At 17 minutes, mine came out looking like that. Isn't that gorgeous? So grab yourself a pair of tongs, make sure you test click them, otherwise how do you know they work, and gently pull it onto your cutting board. Look at that, like a pro. Cut it up as you see fit. I'm cutting it up into squares. And honestly, it just smells heavenly. Alright, so let's get in for a closer look. So the dough came out really nicely actually. It's soft, which I like for a pizza dough, but hard enough that it doesn't just collapse in on itself. This recipe is really great if you have like guests over, because it was really easy and cheap to make. You can make a couple of these for, really quickly and really easily. But let's give this a quick taste test, and no, that's way too hot, Will. Jesus, man, give it a little bit of time to cool off. So anyways, that's the end of the episode. I hope you liked what you saw here today. If you did, maybe subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and like the video. Thanks for watching Idiot Proof Cooking. See you again soon.